Here's our black locust log that we cut down, and I think I can only really use this one, maybe this one. It has a giant knot in it, but I asked the construction company if I could have it. You can see it's tore up from an excavator in different spots, and I just offered to take the whole tree. Maybe I'll make charcoal and other fun things out of this wood, but mainly to be nice and clean up the area. It wasn't a big tree really. So we're going to go over 3 different trees. Black locust, which is this one, elm, E-L-M, and then also maple towards the end. And you see the differences in how they split up. And you can see how heavy all these trees are. Even with this size, it seems light, but it's heavy because it's green. You want to have green trees, ones just recently cut down, because there's less of a chance of it splitting, like right here. This tree was alive, and only after a couple days it started to crack. Then I put some paint on. That was yesterday. That helps seal the ends in from losing too much moisture and cracking there. The considerations that we have are these knots down the wood. How this tree was growing together down here. There's 2 of them down together. It's kind of flat there. Just look for the general straightness. And this one's pretty straight. So I'm going to try and split this one right down the middle here. There's a knot here. Hopefully we can stay outside of these knots. Some tools that you want are some wedges. You only need a couple wedges. An axe. This was just a broken axe handle that I used as a starting wedge. Or you can just pound in another axe like this to get it started, because it's tough to start going into a tree with these bigger wedges. So it's nice to have something sharper. Use this 3-pound hammer here, but sometimes you need to get after it and use this. Now the most important thing is these safety glasses here. The other day when I was splitting one of these logs up, one of these pieces of steel came off and went right into my leg. And just think if that went into your eyeball or something like that. So as these things get beat and pounded, I wonder if it would be good to weld these up. Grind them up, clean them up. But these are some old wedges I got from a buddy. So be safe about using your wedges. Then you just start on the end, go down through. Oh, and you also want earplugs too, because these things get loud. This one's nice and straight. This one's good too, except it has this knot here, but it looks like we can work around it. Let's do the same thing again, splitting it into quarters. Sometimes with bigger trees, and this one even, you could get maybe 3 bows out of it, but I'm not going to push it. Sometimes that grain will go out on you. So I'm just going to go try right down the center. You don't want to pry with your axe too hard. That's a good way to break handles. You also want to be really careful about chopping and deflection. I've seen it where guys come off of something and goes in towards themselves. So you want to be very careful about that. One very big bow stave, looks real nice and straight. That's good. Another one here, a little twist. Not too bad, we can work around that. These are left a little long, they're right around 7 feet. So you have room to work around knots and end cracks. This one's nice and big. You could get 3 bows out of this one if it was clean all the way down. But there's those big knots on the very end. Let's split it through the middle. This one's splitting perfect right in between these 2 knots. Hopefully we can work around those with the bow. That loosens up the other wedge. Bring it up. That's even surprising here. But we have this knot we have to contend with. Hopefully we can cut the stave off here and not have to deal with it, or work on this side of it. This one looks good on the outside, but on the inside there's some big knots that go all the way through that we'll probably have to deal with on the back side. We'll see once it dries out. And we may not even use this one. See this big giant knot right here. We will see. Now you don't want to take the bark off a lot of times with a lot of these trees because it'll crack like it will on the ends. So it'll dry from the inside out. It'll dry a lot faster than leaving it whole. Leaving it whole is safest, but when they're big like this, there's still less of a chance for it to warp. But there's more of a chance for it to warp because it's smaller than a whole log. So there's advantages and disadvantages. You can even rough out a whole bow from here with a lot of different trees. Get it down to a certain size, right around close to floor tiller, and it'll dry out quick within 3 months. Even a month sometimes. You just want to avoid it drying too quick and making those cracks or drying checks. A lot of work to split staves. This stave is black locust. It's a good tree. Taught a bow making class with it. We want to seal the ends. You can do that with glue, polyurethane, cheap paint, whatever you have laying around, so we don't get those cracks. This log right here is an elm, notoriously tough to split. This is my first time trying, so let's see how it goes. I'm going to split it this way, so then this stave right here has kind of a slight reflex to it. So if it's going to be bent back this way, it should have some more power. Oh, starting to split that way naturally. See that? Wonder what that's going to do. Looks like that's what it wants to do. You can get more power by pounding in one side, then the other with a couple axes at once, and starting at the edge, instead of just trying to go right in the middle, and sometimes your wedge just wants to bounce out of there. So that's one way to do it. Well, let's see how this goes. Not bad. This piece wasn't bad. Everyone says they're bad because of how stringy they are and how the fibers interlock together. But this one, you can kind of see it. And I think that there's a lot of the growth rings on these are massive, some of the biggest I've seen. That one is a great growth year. This one's at least a 1/4 inch thick. A couple other ones are over 1/2 inch thick. Giant. Nice. This one got a little small, and then this wood is twisted anyway. We could straighten that out later. There's a knot at the end, but just big enough, hopefully, to make one. Big knot right here. That one's twisted. I don't know if I want to use that one. Alright, see you later. Keep surviving.